Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
We are now joined by Tony Martin. He is the co-founder of the first Christian video game site on the internet, jillgames.com. And Tony actually came to our attention when we found out he wanted to create a series of video games that actually reveals the New World Order plans to undermine our national sovereignty in America. Thank you for joining me, Tony.
Hey, it's an honor to be here with you, and thank you so much.
So this is an interesting project that you guys are working on at jillgames.com. I imagine it's a pretty original thing. You've had some experience making interactive games based on Bible verses and stuff in the past, but now you're upping it and you're making a New World Order revealing, a globalist revealing video game. Tell me about how you came upon thinking up this project.
Thank you, Owen. Again, this is actually inspired by, I believe, God and Alex. And Alex had been a fan and supporter and discovered him all the way back in 2003 on Coast to Coast. Never heard of Bohemian Grove. And from that point on, just became attached to Infowars and a fan. And just God used him as just a bulldozer to open up a lot of what's really going on in the world. In the process of that, because he inspired it, he would say, he'd get callers all the time that would say, hey, Alex, you need to do this different, and you need to do that. And Alex would say, hey, I'm doing everything I can. How about you guys doing it? And let's make this a movement, not just a one-person thing. I mean, this is back in like 04 or 05. And God sort of gave me a vision at that point to pull together some programmers. It's taken a lot of years to see it actually happen, and put in a video game format, exposing what's actually happening around us in the prison planet, that grid that's being put into place. And so it's our hope and prayer. And in that process, I work for a company called Kingsgate Media, where literally 4 of our top programmers from another company have said, yes, we want to come over. We want to help with this. These guys have worked on things like Call of Duty, Transformers, Fall of Cybertron, big games with just, you would know their names. And now then not all of them totally want their names out there in front. And that's why our lead programmer, Justin Elms, has taken he's like, I don't mind. He sees all this. He's amazing. We use the Unreal 4 engine, which is the most recent used for like Final Fantasy VII, and numerous games are shifting to that. But so they're well versed in that. We want to put out a top line game that'll originally be launched on Steam platform. It used to be Greenlight. I guess it's Steam Direct now. Then we hope to move that to Google Play, to the iStore, make it downloadable. And we're having a fundraiser. If you go to our website and you happen to want to help us, anybody that gets behind this on Kickstarter, all we need is 400 or 500 Infowars to make this game happen. And it takes us about 7 months to a year to get it concluded. But in that next year, we're hoping to send beta versions to Infowars and let Alex had mentioned wanting to play it. So we would love to do that. But in there, we want to reveal several layers in the storyline of what's actually going on in the New World Order and the Illuminati, and from a Christian perspective, end times scenarios.
Well, I love it. You're saying, hey, this is a call to action. I can't expect somebody else to do it. I'm going to get out there and do it myself. Now you're putting in the legwork. You're trying to get this game out there to the public. That's amazing. You talk about these other big game, companies, producers coming in here and saying, hey, maybe we don't want our name associated with this. They're a little afraid. I think that tells you kind of a sign of the political correct times. I still salute them for wanting to be involved. But just give me a little more detail. Let's talk about the details of the games. Talk about what kind of play this is, what type of game, what kind of action, what is the age group that you're expecting would be enjoying this type of game?
Oh, man, great questions on all of them. Okay, so we were hoping in the storyline, if I can give that real quickly, it's based on a script that I'd written. I'd hoped to see made into a movie. Obviously, that didn't happen, but we're going to use it. We transported it over into the game. And what will happen is it's set several years in the future, hypothetically, right? And the globalists are seizing more and more control, not because the nations want it, but because just like what's happening today, it's being forced down our throats. And so as evil always rises, an underground rises. So there's an underground in this game, and you're part of the underground, and there are elements within the U.S. military, as Alex has covered, that are still loyal, but I think by and large. So these elements within the U.S. military, they're loyal to God and Constitution. They are funneling information, equipment to the underground, and the underground is going to thwart and stall the installment of a one world global, government, financial system, all of those things. And so you're part of the underground. Your character's dropped on an island that's called Akkadian Island, and that ties into their whole Babylonian roots and everything. And I know we have a brief time here, but a lot of things are going to be covered during the just as every every game has that. You're going to have a storyline. We got video actors. I mean, all of that. You're going to have video vignettes that move the storyline along. You're going to learn about Jekyll Island. You're going to learn about the creation of the Federal Reserve, the reason why there are central banks.
Well, and excuse me for cutting you off here for a second,
that's fine.
But from what I saw that you had helped make in the past, which was more, targeted towards kids and youth, it appears to me that this is more of a role-playing game that would be targeted to an older audience, perhaps teenagers, even older, that's more flashy, more exciting, more explosive, where they're not just getting the action-packed game, but there's also a plot that can kind of make them think, perhaps.
Absolutely. This is teens to adults, to be honest. Absolutely. It's going to have action. It's going to have adventure. It's going to be, again, like 3 of our 4 programmers have come over. Their credentials are incredible. They don't, again, want their names out in front right now because they're afraid of getting blacklisted. We understand that. We're just thankful they want to be a part of this. But this would be a game that when you get it, it would be on the level. God willing, we've got to get the funding, but it'll be on the level of anything you played out there. And in fact, our lead programmer, Justin Elms, is gifted at virtual reality, at 3D animations. He said we're going to have a point at which, because there will be a CERN Hadron Collider, we're going to cover the CERN, what they're doing with scalar technology and the weapons. And I believe that it fits into Bible prophecy. So they can go to our page, that JILgames.com, stands for Jesus is Lord. Please go to that and check out the background of that game. Most of it's on the Kickstarter, but it's going to be for, honestly, teens and adults. And this game is going to be real, and it's going to have a list at the end of the game and at various increments of the game. Your character is going to have this palm information thing that's coming from the underground, and you're going to see, we're going to get almost everything, even though the story is fictional, virtually everything in the game is going to be based on articles that are out there. We're going to show them throughout the game or in the credits, 100%. Everything you're seeing in this game is fact, and it's being built around you right now. And if ever there was a time to wake up, it's now, because I believe, I'm very optimistic, and I believe in God, and I believe there's biblical precedent for God forestalling end-time events because people repented or woke up. And I think it's happened. Alex has been a key part of it. I think it's happened many times in the last 30, 40, 50 years where they wanted it to be now, and it didn't work out for them. And so we're hoping to actually get a lot of programmers. Ultimately, we want, like Alex said, we don't want this to be a one-man band. We want this, once you have one hit, you have other people want to copy it. So we're hoping this leads to an entire movement, and a bunch of programmers stop being afraid, and they get out there and start. Because, programmers, just like any techie, they see what's happening.
Yeah, and I was actually, that's kind of where I was going to go next. You guys, obviously, Jill Games being in control of this, you can control your own destiny. You can put whatever you want in there. You've obviously already got your narrative, your script written, ready to go. It sounds really exciting, like the perfect kind of app for flying. I fly a lot. That'd be something I'm excited to do on your phone or your tablet. But it is amazing to think, you talk about these big name programmers coming in, you talk about these techies and, video game programmers, they know what's going on. I think you can see some of the narratives and some of the stuff being pushed in some games out there. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Is it the people, and you're saying these people are coming in, they want to work with you. Obviously, they don't want to get blacklisted from their companies, but you're saying that just the kind of concept and the notion that this video game is coming out is kind of starting to draw some attention from within the industry.
Absolutely, and again, it's just all credit in the world to even have a couple of these guys decide, hey, well, because they have their own company names, and they said, you know what, we're going to quietly come in on this. We'll work with you. Again, it takes funding, so please, again, just about 400 to 500 Infowars will make this game happen if they want to. And we have some of the best perks I've ever seen on Kickstarter. If you guys would go to that and check it out. But that being said, absolutely, they know, they can see, they're in the tech world, they can see how we're being built into this 1984 quote-unquote prison planet, and the guys that are dealing with us are specifically Christians, so they know about the end times, Book of Revelation, Daniel, that type of stuff. But nevertheless, there's even the techies that aren't, and we believe this is going to be a secular crossover game. We're aligning it so that it could hit all markets, to the patriot and to the truther. But that being said, the techies aren't stupid. They know what's happening out there, and I think it emboldens them, just like Alex has done. It emboldens when you see somebody getting successful at it, waking up millions of people. If we could even just have that one hit, by the grace of God, it's going to wake up a lot of other techies, and they're going to embolden. They're going to get emboldened to say, you know what, we're not going to roll over here, man. We are fighting for freedom. Let's do it. And there are other games out there that are like Assassin's Creed, where I have a lot of people say, well, that's exposing the Templars. I'm like, but it's another false paradigm behind that one. It's just a trap. This is going to be a game that really, really, really exposes the globalists, all their powers, all their agendas, And we're only beholden to God for the truth if we have the money. That's all. We have the talent now. As in this last year, it's all come together. So we're praying that we'll just get the funding and we'll get this into your hands in about 7 months to probably a year, though. It's going to take about a year to get it out there.
That's Tony Martin from JillGames.com. Thank you for joining us, Tony.
Thank you, Owen. Thank you so much.
The reason Infowars Life has 5-star ratings on major third-party sites is because I want products I'm going to use for my family. I take this, my family takes this, and then it funds the operation with the most hardcore, truthful information you're going to find anywhere. So what you find in our news is the same thing you find in our products at InfowarsLife.com.
If I ever forget to take them, I have a noticeable difference. I don't feel good. The nascent iodine is one of the ones that was life-changing for me.
Yeah, I actually have just run out of my super female. I had a few bottles at my house, and I've been taking it again, hitting the gym once again. Very exciting, feeling great, looking good. So, and I know my hair is luxurious once again. So obviously the super female is amazing. I love it.
Nascent iodine is essential. Survival Shield X2. If there's one product that I would say is life-changing that I would suggest, it's Nascent iodine Survival Shield X2. It's got a 5-star rating.
It's a win-win. InfowarsLife.com.